How's it going, guys? Rhino here. It's been a while since I've made a video like this. I made a video a couple days ago, but before that, it's been a few weeks, and that's because I just moved down to college and getting everything sorted out, figuring out how and when I can record, as well as I've been really sick not really sick. I've been sick for the past week and a half, and so my voice is still kind of iffy. I'm sorry if my voice cracks or if I have to clear my throat or something a lot. It's possible that'll happen for this video, but yeah, I've been sick and I've just been trying to recover. But I've been trying to think of a really good topic for a video, for my comeback video. It's not really a comeback because I just I've been been off for a couple weeks. That's it. But basically, what happened was, at my college, for my major, I need to take two writing classes, Writing 121 and Writing 122 or 123, it's two different writing classes for each term. I took Writing 121 the end of last year, and I'm taking Writing 122 this year to finish off my writing requirement. And I got to class, and I noticed that my teacher was kind of one of those stereotypical feminists. A woman who's kind of meatier, I wouldn't say fat, but she's a little thicker, not attractive at all, and has very short hair. I'm not trying to be offensive to her. I'm just trying to describe her so that you can kind of get where I'm coming from. She is younger. She's not like in her 50s or something like that. She is a younger professor, but she kind of has that stereotypical look. But I was skeptical at first. I thought maybe that was just how she wanted to look. Well, it quickly became apparent when we went over the syllabus and the schedule for the class that she holds a feminist bias, which is fine within a teacher, because just holding a bias one way or the other, I've had plenty of teachers who have held a religious bias that hasn't affected the class at all. For a writing class, a feminist bias shouldn't really come into play, especially if we can choose our own topics and stuff like that. Just like with any other class, a bias towards anything that's not related to the class shouldn't affect the class. So I didn't really care. She just seemed to have a little bit of a bias. That's it. Big whoop. Well, one of the articles that we have to read 3 articles per unit. There's 2 units, so 6 articles total across the whole term. One of them was completely about feminism so far. And it was an article written in 1998 that had, basically, it was just an article. The article was about advertising, targeting sort of feminism, I guess, basically making a woman feel independent and feel like feminism works, so she should buy this product for whatever reason. There's a lot more in depth on the essay. But afterwards, we had a discussion about it, and it quickly became clear that a few of my classmates are also feminists. And so they got in kind of a little discussion with each other, no one opposing, so I'm not going to speak out against my teacher and 3 or 4 of the students, because it would seem like I was losing the argument just because there's multiple people teaming up on me, which that doesn't work. That's why I only participate in formal one-on-one debates where, people can't interrupt, where you get times and stuff like that. If that was the case, then I would definitely be able to say some things about what they said, because what they were saying was entirely incorrect. But it became clear that my teacher was a radical feminist. Not where she's a huge bitch. She's actually really nice, which is awesome. You usually don't see that out of radical feminists, but she does hold quite a strong feminist bias. And reading through a lot of the articles that we've had to read, as well as the syllabus, as well as some of the things that she's just talked about, I've come to a conclusion about feminism, which I guess I kind of missed before. I never really understood why, because feminism to me seems really stupid. If you look at, not first and second wave feminism, but third wave feminism, where it's all this stupid, pathetic, petty shit. I always thought it sounded so stupid. Why would people honestly buy this shit at all? Because it's not like indoctrination like religion. Religion is understandable to be indoctrinated into, but feminism is different because, some people can be indoctrinated if they're raised that way, But it's usually not the case. Usually girls and women become feminists later on in their lives. And so I finally kind of figured it out. You see, feminism, as a lot of the articles have pointed out, is about bringing up non-issues as issues. Something that they see as an issue personally, but it's not an issue for the gender, and it's not an oppression of the gender. Although that is a term they love to use, is oppressed. That oppresses me. For example, we were talking about advertisements. So we read an article that was an unbiased article. All it was doing was pointing something out. It was not saying that that thing was good or bad. But when we discussed it, my teacher gave her opinion on it, and she clearly thought it was bad. What we were talking about is how advertisements target sexuality specifically in women. I mean, they do it in men too. I mean, for certain ads. I mean, like Old Spice. Why would they have an attractive-looking guy there, like naked from the waist up? Whatever. I'm gonna go into a rant there, but basically, there was an ad by Diesel Jeans. I've actually never even heard of this company, where it was talking about like don't be smart, be stupid. And then it had a picture of an attractive looking girl from behind standing on a ladder, pulling up her shirt and flashing her boobs to a security camera. And they were talking, they were talking about other implications, but they were talking about how the ad was sexualizing women. And then they were talking about how that's problematic. But the reasons they gave weren't legitimate. They weren't actual reasons why this was a problem. Yes, I mean, the media obviously targets sexuality. 49% of the population is men, and men are horny fucking beings. I mean, that's the best way to describe it, is we just have hormones raging, especially from the ages of pretty much 13 until the mid 30s. Is when we have just tons of hormones raging that make us just horn dogs. So targeting us for that market is not problematic, because it's just targeting one of our baser instincts. It's not something society can change, and it's just smart marketing. It's not objectifying women. I mean, it's sexually objectifying that one woman, but she is choosing and consenting to be objectified in that case. She is not being objectified, though, as a human being overall. I mean, I don't know that girl. I'm not objectifying her in real life. It's just that advertisement. I guarantee in real life, she's not. She's treated like a woman, like an independent person, and that's it. But the other side of it is how it targets women. And this idea of she was you couldn't really tell, but I would say probably medium height, probably like 5'6", 5'7", maybe 5'8", girl who's clearly probably between the ages of like 18 and 22, medium height, slim, like very skinny, and you could like kind of see side boobs, so she had like decent sized boobs. And it was saying that it's targeting women by like making women want to be sexy like that, which, I mean, I guess that could be the case, but that's not a problem even if it is. But it's not always the case. There are plenty of girls who are not that body type who have come to completely accept themselves as a human being, how their body is, and that's it. They have no desire to be like that girl, and they've come to realize that. I mean, the same thing happens when I see a guy like Channing Tatum. Like, of course, I want my body to look like his, because then I would be like one of the most attractive men on the planet. But I'm not going to go out of my way to great lengths, especially knowing that I will never look like that. And so there is no problem there. And this is just one of many examples. But there was a video that I saw a while ago, and it ties into this point. And basically, it's this girl who makes videos because she's an anti-feminist, talking about the ridiculousness of anti-feminism or of feminism, which she does a great job. I mean, honestly, she makes far better points than I do. If you think I make good points about feminism being stupid, I mean, her videos are way better, and she's not even famous. Like I want to say she had between like 10 and 20,000 subscribers, maybe. I don't really remember. I could be wrong about that. But she said feminism is about personal problems. There are these societal standards, like women wanting to be the most attractive, men wanting to be, muscular and get a lot of women, women wanting to find the right guy and settle down, like they need a husband, even though they don't really. There are these societal norms, these societal generalizations, I guess, that some people have a problem with, and that's where feminism comes in. You see, there's an ideal body type for men and women. Feminism never addressed the ideal body type for men, of course, but there's an ideal body type for women, which is, it's not. It varies, but it's usually tall with really big boobs, a really big ass, and a skinny waist. So it's like that huge hourglass figure, which is the ideal body type. And then a woman who can't get that, or doesn't have any of that, isn't even attractive at all, looks at that and says, "Oh shit, I see a problem with that. Society wants me to be attractive, and I can't be attractive, so I don't want to be attractive." And then she decides to bitch about it, and then make these like horrible points about it, how it's oppressing women by men wanting them to be attractive. Luckily, there will always be women who want to actually be attractive, so that's not a problem. It just weeds out the people who you wouldn't even want to date in the first place. But it's just all about these issues that they have, these personal issues. And that's why feminism is such a joke to me, but not to feminists, is because these feminists honestly have these issues. They have an issue with how society works, which is okay. Everyone is entitled to their own opinions. But when you try to force those opinions on other people, you're just as bad as a proselytizing fundamentalist Christian. You are just as bad as them, because you see something wrong and they see something wrong and they're trying to change it. You're trying to change it. But for the majority of women, it is not a problem. If I were to poll all the girls at my college, I go to University of Oregon. It's a huge college. Well, not huge, but it's a big college. If I were to poll all the women about each of these individual issues, something like manspreading, I guarantee the overwhelming majority of them would say manspreading is the dumbest thing ever. Why the fuck do people complain about manspreading? If I were to say, some feminists have this idea that we shouldn't have preferences in how the other gender looks, they would laugh at that. It's just, that's why it's such a joke to those people who are either not feminists or anti-feminist. But I do want to point out one tweet that I saw that was absolutely beautiful. It was perfect because I can't remember exactly what it says, so I'm going to be completely paraphrasing here. But it was an amazing tweet, and it made a very good point, and it has to do with feminism. So it said, girls can comment on a guy's forearms, biceps, just muscles, back muscles, and say like, "Ooh, he's super hot because of those muscles," and not a word from feminists. But the second a man mentions flat stomach or thigh gap, feminists go crazy. And this is the double standard. You see, a feminist has a problem with this ideal woman because she can't be that. But then when girls have this ideal man, especially when it comes to personality, like, they don't give a shit. They're like, oh, okay, well, that's perfectly fine that you have these standards, but men cannot have these standards for women, because that's where the problem lies. That's the problem with feminism in and of itself, is the fact that these issues can go both ways so much of the time, but feminists only address one, yet they talk about they're for equality. Sorry if that was kind of a long video with some rants and shit. That was just a topic I needed to talk about desperately because I needed to get a lot off my chest. It was absolute bullshit hearing all this and reading all this. It was just annoying. If you have anything to add or comment on, post it down in the description below. Feel free to have conversations with other people in the comments, debates, whatever you want to do. Make sure you enable replies if you do. Make sure to comment, rate, and subscribe. And have a nice day.